The latest Gulf Employment Index report, released a few hours ago, records an increase in job opportunities across the GCC compared to the latter part of 2024. Trefor Murphy is founder and CEO of Cooper Fitch, the authors of the latest study. He joins us here in the studio to tell us more. Trefor, great to see you. So tell us, what are the latest findings?
Sure, I think overall quite positive still. We've seen a 1.5% increase in new jobs created in Q1 over the previous quarter, 1.25% in the UAE, 3.5% in Saudi, 3% in Qatar, and then 0 in Kuwait, and just slight small dips in the other two GCC countries.
Now, if we're to focus on the UAE specifically, where are you seeing the strongest growth in jobs in the first quarter?
Yeah, look, I think what we've seen in the UAE, even though 1.25% is not a significant increase, it's coming off a very high baseline of last year and the previous year. So it's still, for a highly developed economy like the UAE is now, it's actually very good. Probably the envy of any international country. Where we're seeing most growth is technology, particularly on the AI and digital spaces. We're seeing a lot of growth in real estate, and we're seeing a lot of growth in the investment side, particularly on the sovereign wealth fund part of investments.
So why, tell us about, in your report you mentioned the UAE's employers are moving towards a more strategic, efficiency-focused hiring. What exactly is meant by that? So
look, I think we've had significant growth since coming out of COVID, managed very well by strong government initiatives and platform to succeed. And what we've really seen is that in any organisation in all employment economies, you see after a significant growth phase, you see just a maturing, a flattening of requirements. And there seems to be a real focus at the back end of last year and into this year that organisations are really looking to build out efficiencies, ensuring that whilst they're still hiring and there's still good job creation, that what they're getting the very best out of who they have and what they're doing and maximising their market positions.
Trefor, what about the global trade issues influencing hiring plans here in the UAE, as we've been hearing about the tariffs lately?
Yeah. Look, I think I'm very optimistic that the UAE government will do a very strong deal on tariffs. Right now we haven't seen any impact. We import 10 times more goods from the US than we export into the US. So the primarily strong result of that is probably maybe stronger inflation, unfortunately, higher consumer goods prices. As it stands right now, we see no short to medium term impact on the employment market.
One final question for you, Trefor. What should companies learn, do you think, from this latest study, if there's one thing in particular?
Look, I think there's a real drive within organisations to look at what they're buying in as services versus how they're building their own team capabilities. So we've seen a drop, say, in something like legal private practice, quarter on quarter for the last 3 or 4 quarters, and where people are spending the time to hire legal professionals for their own team, reducing costs, building more internal capability, and I think that's across many functions that we're seeing across the UAE at the moment.
All right, we've run out of time, but Trefor Murphy, once again, appreciate your time. Thanks a lot. Thank you.